Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Chelsea Under Embargo, or the other way round. Either is fine. Today we're on the page of Ethan Ampadu, who is back at the club this year. Now you can see that he made a decent amount of progression last year when he was out on loan, but you'd have to argue that he's kind of stalled out a little bit since then, and I think that's simply because he's not been playing. So we've not had any cup matches with which to really try him out. So I think he's definitely going to get a decent amount of game time this year. Hopefully we can avoid the stalling of his career. But this graph is so damn useful to see when players are starting to stall out, when they're not getting enough game time, all sorts of stuff. There's a few even on the decline because they're not getting game time out on loan, so I want to take a look at that too. So, I've been playing on the newest version of the game, and I've got to say, there are a lot of changes. At first, as you saw from the last episode, I was very perturbed, but I think that's because it was a giant culture shock to me from what was happening before to what was happening now. I definitely think there's a lot of improvements that have been made in this newest version of the match engine, which is very, very nice indeed. I still think there's a few things that could do with being tweaked, but in the right direction, I think. Anyway, let me know what you think as well, because you guys would have been playing it too. What do you think's better or worse about the new version? For me, one-on-ones seem to be much, much better, to the point where I'm not noticing that they're bad or good. I think there's less of them overall, but when they are there, they are far more likely to be scored, which is great. I've also been messing around with another save I had, just so I could play a bit more, rather than, because obviously I have to record these videos, but I can't go any further than the recordings. So I've been playing around with the Fulham save, just to sort of see things how we're going with that other tactic I've been using with Chelsea, just to test things out a little bit. And yeah, I just think that was the complete wrong approach that we played against Manchester City, and I've had to basically tear up the rulebook, so to speak, in the off-camera games, pretty much starting from the very first game, or from about half an hour into it, it would be fair to say. But right now, it's Sunday! Finally, I remembered, I know. It's time for Regen Sunday. For those of you that are new to the channel, every Sunday, you can drop your, well actually, you can do it all week, drop your regens in the Discord channel for regens, and I will find some of the best ones, be they just quality players, funny names, obscure nations, sometimes all of the above, and I'll read them out. So yeah, head over to the Discord, join in over there. There's loads of cool stuff. We're even doing some database creation stuff now, which is absolutely awesome. And by the way, those of you that are over in that particular channel and doing that kind of stuff, I might need your help with the second save I have planned after Notts County, to give you a little idea of what might be coming with that. Anyway, Regen Sunday. First up, Atli Arnason, an Icelandic centre-back. He's an 18-year-old and he's 4.5 star rate, which is bloody fantastic. Then again, I suppose that's probably because he's playing in the Icelandic league, so maybe it's a bit like that, but still looks like a pretty solid player, I'd have to say. Then we've got Moon Cook Young, which is an absolutely glorious name. 6'7", centre-back with 6 heading. And he's only got 14 jumping reach, which is actually amazingly low for a player who's 6'7", since those two are kind of quite important together. But 6 heading on a guy that's 6'7", like, does he just have like a flat head or something? I don't understand. Then we've got George Kwakwa, a Liberian right back. I don't know if he's any good or not, but it's called George Kwakwa, so I can't really complain. Presumably every time the ball comes over, he ducks. Then we've got Innocent Dave, and I've seen the profile page, so I know that this is legitimately his name. A goalkeeper called Innocent Dave. It sounds like a bloke down the pub who never does anything wrong. Then we've got Maninho. Glorious, just wonderful stuff. And then the best one, Chumbinho. Absolutely glorious. Little Chumb. Huge fan of that. Right, so yeah, if you want to participate in Regen Sunday for next week, although I think that actually won't be net one next week, because Notts County is going to be starting next Sunday, so that's probably going to have to wait. But still drop them in the chat and I'll put them in the following week, or we'll do it on the Monday. So, with the Europa League, we got probably the most favourable draw I could have possibly imagined. So that's really good. I guess it's because we've got such high ranking and stuff. So that's helped us out a great deal. And will give me a chance to rotate some of the youngsters maybe into the Europa League squad. Maybe give Panahi a chance to play a few games there. So that's quite encouraging. But for today, we're just going to go full strength so I can test, because I'm still tweaking the new tactic. It's not really that different. I've kind of just reverted back to the old one that we played and then adjusted from there, essentially. And you'll see why in a minute. So I know we've got the thing in the background. I was just having a look at some of the goals that we'd scored earlier so that I could just sort of get some analysis stuff done. And unfortunately, it means that you get this silly thing in the background. But whatever. We went to Bournemouth and we won 4-2. We took the lead very early on through Tammy Abraham in this one. And that was completely against the run of play. Bournemouth were actually pretty solid at that point. Hadn't had any chances, but we hadn't really done a great deal. And we just weren't really doing anything. So around about, I don't know, it wasn't long after that, in all honesty, I just decided to switch back to our old style and just drop the passing down, try to play a bit more out from the, not even out from the back, but like distributing to our fullbacks and centre-backs and just trying to play a bit more possession-based football, which is kind of what the board wanted anyway, because I just don't think our long, expansive, quick counter-attacking play is really going to work anymore, which is a shame, but we're going to have to adjust for it. And then Callum Wilson was able to equalise for Bournemouth, which kind of just set me back in my tracks, and I thought, I don't really know what to do here. So I just kind of changed a few more things, and I'll show you properly what I've changed after that. And we then did start to have a bit more success. Mason Mount scored a goal. Tammy Abraham made it 3-1 before David Brooks got on back for Bournemouth, completely against the run of play at this point. Thankfully, though, N'Golo Kante got one for us. Headed away, and he was able to sort of, not volley, but drill one low and hard into the net for a 4-2 victory away at Bournemouth. So a good result, but I then took that approach with a more attacking aspect of it to Anfield as we went to Liverpool, and we were 3-0 up. Erling Haaland scored, Abraham scored, Pulisic scored. We were 3-0 up at Anfield inside 17 minutes. And again, they had lots of shots, but once again, they didn't create as many chances as us. As simple as that. Van Dijk then got one back. Mane then grabbed another one back. Mason Mount then missed a penalty with a chance to put us 4-2 up in the first half. And then annoyingly, a Fikayo Tomori own goal gave Liverpool the complete comeback. Just so you can see, 4 clear-cut chances in this match, 3 half chances. The creativity was so much better. A lot less long shots than Liverpool as well. We looked really, really solid. Kepa had a good old day though, but they didn't create that many high-quality chances. And it was after that I really decided to steer into what we were doing, because I felt like there was definitely some positives. So one of the problems I'd had is that I'd forgot to switch Kante back to box from being a ball-winning midfielder, because that's what he was set as in the original tactic. So I switched him back, and he seemed to improve in this game. The one other change I made is in this game, in the second half, I tried playing us through the middle, and I don't think it really works so well, but my assistant keeps telling me to do it, and I just don't think it's going to work. But in this game, it was so much more like it. Took the lead through Erling Haaland. They equalised through Andrei Yarmolenko. Bit of a shame, but what can you do? They'd also missed a penalty in this match. Penalties are given a lot at the moment, and they seem to always be missed now. So there's that. But then we really did start to crank through the gears, with Tammy Abraham grabbing a brace in the end, Haaland grabbing himself another one, and Christian Pulisic also grabbing a goal for a 5-1 trashing of West Ham. We're creating a lot of chances now. We're not conceding so many chances now, and we're scoring the chances because we're able to do so, and it is glorious. And then finally, we went to the, not to the Etihad, to the Emirates and won. This was a strange game. We were okay in the first half of this one, and then we went behind, unfortunately, through Tolisso from a corner, which was a frustrating one, but I've tried to rectify that because I realised I hadn't got defensive corner structure set up on this tactic, so that's my fault. But then I switched Tomori to being a ball-playing defender because I was noticing that when we were playing it out from the back, because we didn't have an easy way of getting it to our playmaker, having Tomori as a ball-playing defender meant that we just had a little bit more passing, and it shows from the fact that he got a 7.1 and Rudiger didn't. He was kind of at fault for Tolisso's goal, a little bit. We missed a penalty in this one again, because that just seems to be the case now. But then, I'd had it on the going through the middle again in the second half, just to see if that would work, because, again, my system was like, we've got to try this. But the moment I turned it off, we got through, Christian Pulisic was able to level for us, then we got a free kick, ball was whipped across, and there was Erling Haaland to make it 2-1 to Chelsea. Winning away at Arsenal here is a really terrific performance. And again, look, 5 clear-cut chances in this match. We are creating opportunities and we are finishing them. And we're getting a lot more possession than we were before, without actually changing the system. So I'll show you that in a sec. Because currently we still sit 6th, but we're only 1 point off the top 4 now, and only 2 points off of 3rd. Manchester United and Manchester City are flying as things stand currently. Callum Wilson's already got 7 goals for Bournemouth, but Tammy Abraham's got 6 for us, and I think Haaland's got 5 or 4. So that's nice to see. At one point, Kepa was actually on here, thanks to that result against Liverpool. So I think we've started better this season. We're right in that race, and we need to keep on going. Winning away at Arsenal, though, is a really big feather in our cap. The draw away at Liverpool, we should have won. Like, we genuinely should have won. I know they had a lot of shots, but they seem to be shooting from not far enough out for it to be considered a long shot, but not close enough for it to be a good opportunity. And that's why they seem to, struggle against us. But we really shouldn't have thrown away that 3-goal lead. And had we not done that, we'd have been even further up this league. So a lot of positives to be taken for us so far. But I'm still not done yet. I think there's a lot more tweaking we can do. But we'll show you where we're at so far. So, here is the way that things have changed. Oh yeah, the other thing I changed was I put Haaland to be a pressing forward, because once I realised that we weren't going to play long ball, target man sort of stuff, I switched him to a pressing forward because that was his best role. I'm still not sure if this is how I want to go with it, because I don't know how well these two will link up like this, but it was useless having him as a target man because we weren't really using that approach. I changed Kante to be a box-to-box midfielder again, but we already had that. But I just forgot. And then I've made Tomori a ball-playing defender. Everything else I think is pretty much the same. I've added dribble more to a couple of players, I think. Some of them have got it on by default. Yeah, so he's got it on, as does Abraham, because I feel like dribbling is quite important. I think I put it on Mason Mount as well, yeah. Because I found that it's really difficult to win the ball off of players from both a defending and an attacking perspective, so we need to make sure that we're at least taking advantage of that as well. And I think that's why so many penalties are being given, because players are much harder to get the ball off, and as a result, you end up fouling them way more than you would do before. But unfortunately, you just missed the penalties, though. So, as for the changes here, the other thing I made a change for in the Arsenal game was to start, in the West Ham game was to start floating crosses because of our tall strikers. We might as well be floating them because they're going to be able to win the challenges in the air. We've gone shorter and slightly lower tempo just to try and keep the ball a bit more. The attacking width isn't quite as much, and we're just going a bit bland here. So we're still looking for the overlaps, but we're not focusing the play down any of these wings and giving it more of a general approach. That way we can kind of adjust on the fly. We're running at defence, as you know. This, I think, is the same. Oh no, I switched it back to this because there was no point in trying to distribute to the target man when they were just losing the ball every single time. So that's now done. I think this is all exactly the same as it was on the original tactic. So, yeah, it's been a slow progress and we're not done yet, but I do think it's better than trying to go with what we were doing, because the things I saw in that Manchester City game made me think there's no way in hell this is going to be a successful approach this year against anybody, which is a shame. And I don't think this tactic is perfect by any stretch. And maybe had we had more time this year, and if this has happened before the end of the season, I would have signed players differently and maybe tried to play with an attacking mid here. But I want to use both Abraham and Haaland because they're both awesome. And today we're playing against Karabakh. Oh yeah, I'll show you our Europa League group. This is a fun one. Just very quickly, we've got Sturm Graz, Spartak Moscow, and Karabakh. So fairly comfortable, you'd like to think, but you never know. There's all kinds of stuff that could go wrong. So, yeah, we've got a pretty fresh side. So I'm going to go with our strongest 11 at the moment. Kovacic is back in training and whatnot, but not quite ready to start yet. So Mason Mount will maintain his role. Rudiger and Tomori, I'm liking this partnership. Emerson, James, Pulisic on the right, Sancho on the left. But the good thing about having Sancho is he can play on either position. So Hudson-Odoi also can play in either position. That's nice. And we've also got Chacon as well. So, pleasing. And as for the bench, I'm going to go with the same lineup that played against Arsenal, really. We've got Bellingham, Ampadu, Hudson-Odoi, Giroud is now back, Azpilicueta, Chacon, and maybe Batshuayi, but maybe not. I might put Pedro on instead of Batshuayi. Batshuayi's basically told me that he is going to run down his contract now, which is annoying. I was hoping I could try and win him round, but if he doesn't want to be here, I can't force him. So, Karabakh. Okay, that's quite a defensive system with no obvious playmaker. They're designed to control possession, interestingly. So we're going to go after him. I've actually made some of these now, so I can have general ones. But for the most part, we're just going to go like this. Also, you might notice we did a bigger chunk off camera. We're going to keep trying to do bigger chunks because I want to try and get through as much of this season as possible, but Notts County will be starting next Sunday. So that's just happening no matter what. So this should be a relatively straightforward home victory. And you can sort of see what I'm talking about a little bit in the sense that dribbling does seem to be the new way to get a decent amount of, you can work ball into the box as well. Seems to work quite nicely because the players will get into these positions and they won't smash it into the side netting anymore. They will play around patiently, trying to find these ultimate positions around about the 6-yard box. And I think it seems to be we saw a lot of it in the Man City game, but we weren't able to pull it off as much. James brings that out the air. He's not set to dribble more because he's not got the best dribbling. Abraham. And all the way in. And what a chance that is. And oh my God, it nearly went in. So far in this match, 10 minutes in and we've already hit the post or woodwork 3 times. That is a bit unfortunate. James down the side. Can he pull it back for someone? He does. Abraham and Sancho and Emerson. And oh my, we've hit the woodwork 5 times in 11 minutes. Okay, I feel like we should be in front by now. Reece James, and it's in the back of the net. Of all the ways to take the lead in this match, I did not imagine it would be a Reece James free kick, but it is Chelsea 1, Karabakh 0. Chance creation's pretty solid so far. Might up the tempo a bit in the second half. Lovely goal from Reece James, though. That's what we needed, just to get the floodgates open, hopefully. Okay, half-time, 1-0. Probably should be more goals in front. I'm going to try and up the press and the tempo a little bit in the second half, because they are a quite poor opposition. But I think we play a lot nicer football with this approach. So that's pleasing, and hopefully that will help the board get off my back on the possession stuff too. And Mason Mount's won it back. He's all the way through. Oh, and he's hit the post and it's in. Mason Mount with a lovely finish there to make it 2-0 to Chelsea. That's what we needed. I don't know if that counts as hitting the woodwork for a 7th time. I'm not sure because I think it doesn't count if it actually goes in. Really nice work there from Mounty. He just pressed a little bit more aggressively, and I think that's made the difference for us in the second half. We've actually been able to win the ball off them. That's a really nice finish. Perfect, really, if it in off the post. Pulls it back for Sancho. He's through. And Haaland now puts in on the rebound. That's a bit fortunate the way that fell to Erling Haaland. But the lad has got some quality. 5 goals already this year. And now we do seem to have broken the dam a little bit now. Bit more aggressive than we were in the first half because they are probably the poorest side in this group. So I guess it makes sense to go a little bit more aggressive. Fortunate the way it falls to him though. Keeper nearly could have saved it. James's ball. Cleared. Sancho at the back post, and I think that was actually an assist from the defender that puts that into the path of Jadon Sancho, and now we are absolutely demolish him. This is what we needed. Okay. I might take note of what we've just changed, though, because it could work against poorer league teams. Good ball in from James, but the defender's actually the one that clears this into the path of Jadon Sancho. Easy headed goal for him, 4-0. Around the side for Tammy Abraham, he's through! Oh, God. Well, that was the first sort of one-on-one we've had in today's game, and Abraham's missed it. I'm actually amazed that with 21 fouls, they've not been booked more, to be honest. Emerson, cutting inside, he might have a shot himself, and he does, drifts it wide. A draw in the other game is quite helpful, too. I'll happily take a 4-0 victory in which we created 10 opportunities in the match. Hit the woodwork 6 times as well. Chacon, Abraham, and well saved again. Also much better in possession, which is really nice to see. 4-0, 38 shots, 15 on target. Goals for James, Mount, Haaland, and Sancho. That's a really nice little result there, I'd have to say. I think we kind of got worse as well when we made the subs, but that's fine. I just want to give them the game time. Right, so now that that's over, I feel like we've probably got a little bit more time in this episode than normal, so I thought we'd just quickly look at Pelagi. And you can see again that there's a little bit of stagnation over the summer period. Maybe it's because there's not been so many games that he would have played in, but he's not exactly been amazing in those, so we definitely need to keep an eye on him, and I do want to bring him into some first team matches, particularly in the Europa League and the League Cup perhaps, because we've got Swansea City in the League Cup. We get some really bad cup draws so far in the domestic ones, like reasonably decent size. Like, I know it's only Swansea, they're a championship club, but why are we not getting drawn against League 2 sides in like the FA Cup and League Cup? It's just not really been great. Like, we beat Rotherham 8-0 last season when we finally did. I want more of those games so we can actually play some of these guys. Part of me kind of just wants to do a huge chunk and come back and do Sturm Graz in the Europa League, because Man United, that's too close for us to really do anything there, and I don't want to do like another double one because it just slows things down like you guys were saying. So I might actually come back and do a huge chunk off camera and come back with Sturm Graz in the next one, and we will maybe try and play Panaki for that one, depending on how things go in Russia. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, 4-0 trashing, we're looking a lot better in the league. We've got more goals in us than I actually thought we did before, so that's kind of encouraging, I suppose. Yeah, drop a like, that would be glorious, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe. Head over to the Discord, join, have some fun over there too, that'd be awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next episode for Sturm Graz. That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what youth intakes we get this year. That'd be kind of cool as well. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.